Famous photographer Peter McKinnon often talks about getting the bucket shot, the money shot, the impossible shot. Every photography geek knows the thrill of the chase to capture the impossible shot. For McKinnon, it was a lake near Banff, Canada. For Jordan Peele, it was about capturing the essence of the chase. Even I chased the bucket shot, and I actually managed to get it a couple years ago in Colorado, just when I thought car headlights would ruin it. The thing about bucket shots, though, is how hard they are to get, and Nope shows this splendidly. Nope is an ode to filmmakers long gone, long before the golden age of Hollywood. It's a tribute not to movies, but to moving pictures, as they were once known. It's a tribute to the pioneers, those who originally brought us the magic of the movies. The film begins by showing who captured the first moving image. It talks about the subject in the frame. The great-great-grandfather of the film's protagonist, Otis Jr., or OJ as he liked to be called, played by Daniel Kaluuya. OJ and his family own a horse farm dedicated to the training of film horses. When Otis Sr. is tragically killed by falling debris, OJ is tasked with taking over the family business, which is underwater financially. He doesn't know how to save his family's legacy from bankruptcy and is considering selling it to his neighbor, Ricky Jupe Park, played by Stephen Yeun. Park is a local has-been celebrity who owns a tourist trap next to the horse farm. The tourist trap is this kitschy, hole in the middle of nowhere, very akin to Wall Drug near Rapid City in South Dakota. Park was a child star who, as we see throughout the film, is trying to overcome an on-set tragedy he had with a chimpanzee in a late 90s sitcom he was filming. He stores old memories and trinkets from the show and even charges people to see the shrine he's built for the show. As he's trying to save his family's farm, OJ wrestles with the unsettling nature of his father's death, which is when he begins to notice strange things happening on the farm. Horses act strangely and run away and disappear into the night sky. This irks him as horses are expensive and this is his livelihood. So he turns to his sister, a jack-of-all-trades film hustler named Emerald, played by Keke Palmer, in order to see if they can capture on film what exactly is going on. They realize that capturing the phenomenon on film would pay tribute to their family's legacy in film. So they go to Fry's Electronics in order to set up a surveillance system. I actually found this specific injection of product placement quite amusing, as Fry's is an electronics chain that is in real life on the ropes financially against Best Buy. I wonder how much they had to spend on advertising to get into this movie instead of Best Buy, but I digress. At Fry's, they meet Angel, an AV installation expert played by Brandon Perea. Angel is himself a big UFO buff and even recommends watching Ancient Aliens, which I thought was a hilarious reference poking fun at the History Channel hit show. He sets up the surveillance system, which ends up failing whenever the UFO knocks out the electricity. Getting the impossible shot is proving trickier than they thought. So they turn to veteran filmmaker Antler Holst, played by Michael Wincott, who is widely known for getting impossible shots. Holst comes prepared with a mechanical camera not requiring electricity. They realize that the UFO is exhibiting the traits of a predator rather than something mechanical. Together they devise a plan to lure the UFO by setting up OJ and his horse as bait. Things go awry when a TMZ photographer shows up and is chased by the UFO. OJ tries to save the photographer, but when the spaceship shows up, OJ runs off back to the farm and toward the view of Holst and his camera. They begin to capture it on film, but the UFO gets wise to their ruse and swallows Holst and his camera whole, ruining their plans to capture it all on film. At this point, the predator begins to be irked and chases Emerald toward June Park's tourist trap. Here she lets off another bait and manages to snap a few pictures with a mechanical camera in a well. History is made again. She captures the impossible shot, thus cementing her family's legacy in film. Mistakenly, I went into the movie with some negative preconceptions, but I was pleasantly surprised that the film wasn't preachy with some agenda or message. It tried to pay homage to the past in a respectful, meaningful, and poignant way. Its use of nuance was reminiscent of Get Out, which was one of my favorite horror movies in recent memory. Daniel Kaluuya's portrayal of Otis Jr. was great. We don't often get moody, stoic male characters grappling with inner demons much anymore, so it was nice to see Kaluuya's performance with such a character. I found the character of Emerald, his sister, initially very annoying, but throughout the film I grew to like Keke Palmer's portrayal of the character. She grew as a person throughout the film. She started as a loudmouth film hustler and evolved into a capable and thoughtful filmmaker. Lately, Hollywood portrays female characters as infallible Mary Sue types, So it was refreshing to see a female character with a full story arc and growth. Another thing I liked about the film was its depiction of the use of animals in movies. We as the audience don't often see what goes into the production of a motion picture, especially when it comes to the handling of animals on set. In the beginning of the movie, OJ tries to explain to the film crew not to spook his horse, but they're not careful and the horse kicks out a light when someone shoves a mirror in its face. The film does a brilliant job of showing how good intentions of telling stories with animals can go wrong. It shows that animals should be respected and cared for, not by trying to turn them into actors, but by realizing that they are wild animals and should be treated with care and caution. As to the subject matter of the film, Peele could have recycled the same hackneyed themes and tropes so often seen in UFO and alien movies. But he took those tropes and transformed them into something new by tapping into the old. Sort of like a new nostalgia and a new take. Through that, we get a more creative story. Paying homage to the past shows respect and deference, which we haven't gotten in a while in movies. Overall, Nope had everything that a good movie requires. A good story, a great cast of characters played by capable actors, an arc, and no hidden agenda. Jordan Peele showed that he understands what makes cinema attractive to the viewer. He very clearly understands how to draw in the viewer into a carefully crafted narrative. His scripts don't fall victim to improbable conveniences, and Nope is no exception. This was a great film through and through. I would definitely recommend seeing this movie. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more great content.